So this is the Samsung frame of 85 inches, and it's the second television I have here because the first one I had to send into warranty. It has quite a couple of issues, some good things, but generally quite a few you need to know before you purchase something like this. So let's get started. First, let's start with everything I like so people don't say I'm just a hater, and this is why I'm doing this video. The first thing I like about it, and the reason why I purchased this TV, is because it can become a frame. Like the name says it, you can turn it into a painting. You can either use Samsung's software so you can pay a membership, which is one of the things I don't like, but you can also put your own paintings. You just add them to the gallery in your phone, and it sends them wirelessly to the TV, and you can actually store them in the television. So that means every time you turn it off, you can have a frame like this, which is one of the main reasons I bought this TV. I actually prepared this whole wall. This used to have a window, and I closed the window. I made this wall thinking about this product. Everything here was thought out and actually developed for this television, which is pretty interesting. You can see there's no cables around here. It's completely clean, flush, so it actually looks like a painting. Behind this wall, there are holes with PVC tubes where the cables go inside, although there's only one cable, and that's one thing I didn't know when I actually purchased this TV. That single cable goes to this right here, which is a console that's connected through fiber. Yes, it actually uses optical fiber and goes straight into the television, only one cable. And that cable delivers HDMI signals, like maybe a console. It also delivers audio, for example, this soundbar, which is also by Samsung, and also delivers energy, which means one single cable is giving out 3 signals. And my main issue with that was actually worrying about whether this television had input lag or not. I also use it for gaming, so that was very important for me as well. And I'm actually quite happy to tell you, after quite a few sessions of playing Warzone, as well as Smash Brothers, competitively, or however you pronounce it, but I played quite a few times and have had no issues whatsoever. The input lag is pretty darn good. This has actually turned out to be a very good TV for playing. It does have 120 Hz, which means you can play up to 120 frames per second. That's what the PS5 Pro gives you, which is great. And let's not even talk about the Switch. The Switch barely even reaches maybe 60 FPS in some games, and most games only give you 30 FPS. So no issues towards my gaming habits, which is great news. Another thing I also like about this TV is that when you turn it on, or when you want to access your console or anything you're using on it, it does detect automatically, and it's pretty intelligent to tell you what that is. For example, you have here, right, the PlayStation 5 name. You don't have to be guessing, oh, what's the HDMI 1, what's the HDMI 2? No. Immediately, the television tells you what you have connected and what you can actually use, which is great. Now, I think that's probably it towards the things I like. Because remember I told you at the beginning, you can put art pieces here on the Samsung membership. Well, you do have to pay either an annual subscription or a monthly subscription, which is actually absurd to me. You already purchased this product, which its main pitch is that you can actually have art on it, a couple of paintings and all that stuff, and now you have to pay an additional subscription. I actually think that's stupid, it's absurd, and I much rather just download paintings from the internet, put them in my gallery, and then transmit them straight to the TV. So if you have one of these, do yourself a favor and maybe just don't pay the membership. Now, another reason I actually purchased this TV is because I saw it on a very popular YouTube channel called Mr. Who's the Boss.
Not to mention, this is a full-on 4K TV with internet, with apps, with speakers, and it's quite a good TV at that. I was very much expecting compromised image quality, because that's what the early Samsung frames were like, but now we're at the 2024 generation, it feels pretty flagship.
He made a remake of his living room and said this was an excellent TV. It had great image quality. And I said, hey, if Aaron says it, it's probably true. And that was my main mistake. It looks great as a painting. The matte finish actually repels shiny surfaces like maybe a light, a window, or anything like that, which is awesome. But the image quality is crap. I mean, the blacks are washed out. They look grayish. Don't take only my word for it. Check this out. A very popular series called Severance on Apple TV, which has been all over the place. I'm sure you heard about it. look at only the intro. I'm not gonna even go that far along. I wanna show you what the blacks are on the intro and the grayish as well. Okay, so I turned off the light so you can actually see this properly. You can see all this light bleeding from the edges. You can see it from the center. This is an LCD panel. It's understandable that maybe the blacks are not gonna be like maybe an OLED panel, probably not even as good as some other TVs even Samsung has, but this is completely absurd for something in 2025. The image quality is just crap. By the way, this is actually a 2024 model because it was on sale on the official Samsung app. And this is something I just don't think should be allowed or should be tolerated for 2025 standards. I mean, look at all the light bleed on the edges. Look at all the white spots you get. It becomes pretty distracting when you're watching some kind of content at night. And this is something that Aaron failed to actually mention. I saw it in his house. He said the image quality was great, and I beg to differ. The image quality is pretty crappy. Now, there's another main issue with this TV, which is not only the image quality. Some people may let that slide. I don't think you should, but if you do, I'm not gonna judge you. What I do think is this specifically should not be allowed in any television. This is the second one I got. It should be brand new. This was not a repaired television. It's not refurbished, completely paid and completely unpacked here and actually mounted on the wall by a specific team from Samsung. And look at this. We have a busted edge and the light even comes out of this edge. It's from the frame and you can even see it at night in the outside part of the wall. This is just bad quality. It's poorly built. The panel is not premium. It's just not a good TV quality-wise. And Samsung always says their products are pretty good. And this is a clear example. You shouldn't buy a product only because it belongs to a specific brand. You should always buy a product that adapts to what you need and watch quite a few reviews, not only mine, but watch quite a few and don't make the same mistake I did, or else you're gonna turn up with a product like this, which may make you feel a little bit underwhelmed and pretty disappointed like I am. Complete disclosure to you, Samsung reached out. They're gonna come tomorrow, check out the television, see what they can do, see if it's a product issue, like all the TVs that are 85 inches maybe have this issue, or even all the frames from that year might have it as well, or maybe it's just been bad luck 2 times? I don't know. I think it's actually a production issue, but I'll let you know further along. So make sure you subscribe so I can keep you up to date for what this story is actually gonna develop like. But what do you guys think? Would you purchase a product like this after knowing everything I just told you? And as I mentioned at the beginning, this TV doesn't have everything wrong with it. It actually has quite a few things I think other brands should replicate. For example, the controller is rechargeable, which is a nice surprise. It also charges with solar energy in case you want something like that, which again is a great plus and a lot of brands should replicate because it's a lot better for the planet, makes this a lot more durable, and simply is pretty cool. Also, another thing a lot of brands should actually replicate is this system of having optic fiber connect only through one cable, because if you have something like that, number one, it makes your life easier to connect everything you're gonna connect to your TV. You don't have to be reaching out on the back, you don't have to be reaching out towards cables, and you just connect this straight to whatever you wanna use. Also, if you bust an HDMI port or anything like that, well, you just need to change this and don't have to bring down your huge television from the wall mount, send it to service, and then have it repaired and then bring it back. You just purchase a separate console. It makes it a lot more sustainable, a lot more repairable, amongst other things. So again, this TV is not all bad, but the essential of a television, which is the image quality, is pretty crappy on this. Another thing I also liked on this TV are the wall mounts. The wall mounts are something I've never seen before. They're just these 2 hooks where you put them on each side and it actually hooks in like a painting. And it has magnets on the back, which are pretty strong and brings the television completely flush against the wall, which is pretty cool and makes it actually look more like a frame. So again, quite a few things that are pretty cool on this TV, but at least for me, it's pretty underwhelming image quality wise and actually durability wise. So a television that looks great like an art piece, but doesn't work so well as a TV, and has quite a few cool things, but generally something I wouldn't recommend. If you're still interested in purchasing it after everything I told you, I'll drop an affiliate link down below where you can find it. If you're new around here, drop a like, subscribe, it always helps us out quite a bit. And maybe check out this video over here which I think you actually might like.